Hey Jason, wanna know a good way to be a foe?
What?
You shrink them, put them in a box.
And then I'll put that box inside of another box, and then I'll mail that box to myself. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with a hammer!
Or get smashed yourself.
Yeah, not the best health insurance.
Mega Hammer's greatest weapon is his giant hammer hands that can and will squash you if they get the chance.
He also creates shockwaves to jump over in the second phase. The main thing to look for, other than the collapsing floor, is the bullet bill barrage he blasts bewitchingly. This is a Yoshi boss. That means you have to spit said barrage back at Bowser Jr., specifically the blue power domes, two in the front, one in the back.
Oh, but did you think you were done then? No, silly, there's more! Bowser Jr. will then remove the covering in this cockpit and reveal the glass dome. This is where the hammer shockwaves go into play and it gets more difficult.
Now you have to hit the dome twice with bullet bills. The fight can be quite tough, but it's really fun. The design of the robot's good too, but with a simple green and white paint job. As for the arena, it's a space station style ring split into collapsible segments.
The reason why it's lower on this list is probably because of me. I can't stand the music. It sounds like someone at Nintendo gave an electronic synthesizer to a 3-year-old to play around with. But that's just my opinion. So if you like it, enjoy it.
I find the music a good track. It just doesn't have a sense of danger, really. Just remember, if you lose Yoshi, can't touch this. Arachnus Deathicus. This must be his giant messed up cousin.
The first thing I want to talk about is the method of defeat. Part of what makes this boss unique is the fact that you have to use stinking sling pods to damage him. Why did Nintendo have to make an entire level based off of the stupid blobs?
I find them fun to use. What? I do! The only tricky part is if you don't have a good sensor placement, or in the case of this boss, dodging its venom spouts and hitting the rear to stun it.
What's also tricky in my opinion is the weird gravity in the planet. You have to go around in circles and upside down, and sometimes I always end up going the wrong direction.
The boss design of Tarantox is quite interesting. He's a giant bloated three-eyed spider that looks very cartoony, even by Mario standards.
The arena is similar to Bugaboom in the sense that you're fighting him in his own habitat. Throughout the entire level before, you could see a giant bluish, purplish thing in the distance with the Power Star's light radiating from it. Then once you get to it, you break it open to find Tarantox inside, and he doesn't like being disturbed.
The gravity, like you said, does make the arena interesting. You're walking on the inner edge of the spider den thing. There's also the web Tarantox is on with the aforementioned sling pods.
With all this being said, you shouldn't have too much trouble dying on this boss, as there are plenty of coins scattered about, and you can even break the rocks on the rim for more if you need to.
There's also no threat of falling into a black hole. Thank goodness for that.
Once you beat him, though, they don't just hand you the Power Star. You have to launch yourself into the center to get it, using those dreaded sling pods. Why did it have to be sling pods?
Did someone order calamari?
Yes, sir, I did. I also ordered hot sauce. Where is that?
Well, I think the dad got angry. Also, I don't think octopi are supposed to shoot coconuts and fireballs.
Keyword, suppose. This is the Mario universe, for goodness sake, where you come to expect the unexpected.
Fair enough. As for Caliente, he is one of the first bosses you'll fight, and boy is he fun.
Making use of the classic Mario and Zelda method of defeating a boss, tennis, you have to hit the coconuts he fires back at him. Make sure you aren't hitting the flaming coconuts!
Another cool thing about the boss is that he learns. With each hit, he will bounce the coconut back in extra time. Of course, in true Mario fashion, the giant cephalopod goes down in just 3 smacks in the face.
Nintendo makes use of this great boss too by having him return twice. Once later in this game as the final boss of the engine room, but I would have liked a unique boss. In this fight, difficulty is up dramatically as the developers added sinking platforms, more lava, and meteors.
The fight in the second game is fairly similar to the first one. He shows up as part of Boss Blitz Galaxy. As for the first arena, it's a planet of cooled lava with the pool of lava the boss resides in. The underside has recovery items, and the boss ignores you when you're down there, so if you need a breather, there you go.
As for the arena and the engine room fight, as I said, it's comprised of sinking platforms completely surrounded by lava. No breathers there.
I guess these bosses are really heating up, but
I am really getting sick of these fire bosses. It makes me want to just march right up to this boss and... it burns! It burns!
This is another reason I hated Fiery Gobblegut. They did the fiery skin right first. This boss is up challenge done correctly. For one thing, the tail hitting has to be timed. If you time it badly, you'll get a nice tan.
One of the very few bosses that requires careful planning and strategy. It turns out to be fun and hard. But who cares about that? You still have to hit his tail like Dino Piranha, but unlike Dino Piranha, the tail fluctuates between flaming and cool. Make sure you hit it when it's cool.
Also, during the later phases, the tail will leave behind the fire trail, forcing you to go a different direction.
Then after that, during the third phase, he shoots fireballs. Why is it always fireballs? And these fireballs don't just disappear when they hit the ground. They'll stick around for a little bit.
If you go Leroy Jenkins on this boss, you will die. Again, you need a plan.
Fortunately, you don't have to look far for a strategy. I'll tell you one. If you don't mind getting burned, that is. Purposely get Fiery Dino Piranha to see you and rush after to play a game of chicken. Just before he hits you, dash to the left or right and he will go past you, allowing access to his tail without having to worry about the trail of fire. Just hope that the tail is cool.
This tail is on fire! You thought sharks were deadly? Let me tell you about the bonefin species. Undead fish that home in on your location. Turns out they have a leader.
Kingfin is a shark skeleton. First off, I would like to mention it's not anatomically correct, but who cares, it's Mario. Just accept it and move on and enjoy this amazing boss.
I love the eerie atmosphere as build up. You start on a Toad Brigade ship that overlooks a water plant with black shelling. The sky is covered in dark clouds as well.
And ghosts! Fun fact, the sky is the exact same as in Ghostly Galaxy, as well as the music is the same as Bouldergeist. But I think it fits this boss a little better with a creepy camera shot from inside the shark.
There's also a cool percussion added when you're in close proximity to the boss. The main hazard to your health is your air. If you aren't paying attention, drowning is a possibility. Thankfully, there's a good amount of air bubbles.
Kingfin himself never attacks you directly, that is, unless you run into him, but instead relies on the help of his minions, the Bonefin. The fight starts out with none of them present, but after one hit, out come the missiles.
This boss is also unique in that it takes 5 hits from shells to defeat him. Since the entire planet is the arena, this can be tricky unless you find the respawning red shell.
The fact that the entire planet is the arena also led to me sometimes losing track of Kingfin in the water. Oh, and his death cutscene? Pretty satisfying. Eye of Newt cast a hex on you. Grandma's wig, this will make you big. Kitten spit, soon your pants won't fit. Pantalonus giganticus, prepared to fight Camella's antics.
If there's one boss type that never gets old, it's the Witch or Wizard. Camella does not disappoint. The 2-ship style arenas are used well and are spacious so things don't get too crowded.
My theory about the ships is that once you beat her the first time, her airship falls out of the sky and lands in Deep Dark Galaxy. In the first fight, the ship is covered in maroon flooring. In the second fight, it's bare of any decoration. But what the second arena lacks in looks, it makes up for in the second phase. Camilla flies up to the crow's nest, which shrinks the arena dramatically and makes for more hectic fighting.
As for the method of defeat, Camilla has 2 attacks, fireballs and shells. While dodging the fireballs, you have to spin to catch the shells, then throw them right back into her face.
The first time I fought her, I fought a little too hard. I was trying to hit the wand, because you can see the power star inside. That's pretty cool.
The tricky part about the second fight is her summoning of Magic Koopas. These guys only use fireballs, which get annoying when you have 2 of them on the crow's nest portion. Overall, the difficulty is fair. The Daredevil combat for the second fight gets really hard to avoid getting hit once you're on the crow's nest.
This comet is another contender for the hardest star in the game, but it's still really enjoyable and a stellar boss overall.
The music is great, really fitting for a slightly insane mage, and we both have a lot of fun fighting this evil Koopa wizard.
Bowser Jr., most likely the most hated character in all of the Mario games because of his annoying personality and other reasons that I can't come up with because I like him. And his boss fight in Super Mario Galaxy is truly one to behold.
This boss fight does help make up for him revealing Gobblegut's weakness in the sequel, and is really fun. Like Camilla, you need to hit him with shells. This time, you get them through Koopas walking on the ship you're on.
Although you aren't actually hitting him, you are attacking the airship he is controlling. And that airship is deadly. He probably has the most attacks of any boss on this list. In the first phase, he will shoot bullet bills and cannonballs from the side of the ship. The cannonballs aren't too hard to dodge, but can get in the way of hitting a ship. The bullet bills home in on you, but there aren't too many, so it isn't that hard. However, after the second hit, a Magic Koopa will appear, making it more difficult.
After you throw 3 shells into his ship's hull, he will go perpendicular to your ship, making him a narrower target. He takes 2 more hits after that, but adds giant fireballs into his attacks. Also, throughout the fight, avoid the electric fence that you throw the shells over. We don't want KFM anytime soon.
What makes this fight really hard is the last hit. He unleashes the full power of everything he has. 6. Yes, 6 bullet bills will come flying at you. The fireballs continue to be fired, the Magic Koopa will respawn if it has been killed, and, well, it gets crazy.
Fun little secret about the fight. If you hit Bowser Jr. himself and not the airship with a starbit or a shell, he will fall over and 20 starbits will fly into the air. This doesn't count as damage, but it is a nifty Easter egg. It only works once per fight though.
The music is really fitting for such a chaotic fight as this, making good use of the rock genre, being again one of the few songs of rock that I like.
This is for ruining my vacation, you jerk. Never forget. Sunshine, take notes. This is how you do a Bowser fight. Bowser is a good challenge here, mostly due to how his attacks work. He has 5 of them. A slew of fireballs, his own version of your spin attack, repeatedly stomping the ground to create shockwaves, using you as his own personal bowling pin, and the one you need to mess with, a giant leap.
Figuring out how to harm him is really hard for a first-time player, as it's not blatantly obvious like Gobblegut. The arena is mostly clear, and you can see streams of fire on the inside. These lead up to glass domes on the surface that you must trick Bowser into landing on. However, what can hurt this boss can also hurt you. Be sure you're out of the way when he lands and the fire is exposed.
Once he burns his tail, you have to chase him down in a manner similar to Dino Chrono. However, don't run after him, because he's too fast for you. Instead, go the opposite direction, face him, and get him to turn around. Once you do, spin his burnt tail to knock him on his shell. While he acts like a dizzy Beyblade, spin into him once more to damage him.
You fight Bowser 3 times in every other dome and the final area. The music for the first 2 fights is absolutely captivating, but the final boss music is what truly stands out. How does one person create a soundtrack as amazing as this? On a side note, he also has the most gruesome death in the history of Mario, burning up in a sun-like planet and then being consumed by a black hole. Oh dear.
question, how much do you like giant robots?
Well, let's see here. Stereotypically, giant robots usually want to kill you. So, yes. Or at least this one I do, as it's the number 2 spot on this list.
Good, because it's time for Mega Leg. Hope you don't mind the bullet bills. When it comes to the arena, the boss is the arena, save a small moon.
Nintendo took inspiration from the wildly successful Shadow of the Colossus and used the giant boss idea. Starting at Mega Leg's legs, no duh, you have to climb up his limbs, dodging bullet bills and jumping across rotating gears.
To actually beat it, you have to lure the bullet bills into the cage surrounding the Grand Star.
Although it's not like Mega Leg wasn't prepared for that. This boss comes equipped with a high-tech security system. After breaking the cage around it, the alarm goes off and more bullet bills are summoned, if that's even possible at this point.
Also, there's now a rotating and regenerating fence made of multiple segments to get the live ammo past. You win once you break the glass dome behind said fence.
Your best bet for getting a bullet bill to break the gate and the cage is to have 2 of them following you at once.
Now, why don't you mention the music?
Okay. As far as boss music goes, it's not the best compared to some of the other ones, but it fits really well as a march style as you're fighting this boss, giving it extra points.
When it comes to difficulty, the boss can be a little easy if you're even a tiny bit good at dodging bullet bills. If you can't, however, you are kind of in trouble.
The main difficulty is really getting 2 bullet bills to break the fence and the dome in succession, so it's not too much trouble.
If you are really skilled though, you can time a backflip over the fence to lure a bullet bill straight into the dome without hitting said fence. But really, this boss is so high because of the immersion and epic skill of the fight. But when it comes to immersion and skill, only one can beat Mega Leg, and that is...
Giant bosses are fun. A lot of the higher bosses in this list are the somewhat larger ones, either in the size of the boss, in the case of Mega Leg, or the huge arena, as in Kingfin. But one boss combines both of these. Huge boss and huge arena. As you probably figured out, our number 1 boss is Bowser Jr.'s Boomsday Machine.
Yay for process of elimination. As for the boss, it's a giant tower with plasma cannons and fire bars. You fight Junior's latest toy using the Cloud Flower, the only boss to make use of this power-up.
Because the Boomsday Machine towers above you in the middle of the arena, you have to climb up to the top like Mega Leg, but not quite in the same way. Instead, you must create a cloud on top of one of the fans in the arena and float to a cloud above you. Then, all while dodging the homing plasma balls and fire bars, you must create more clouds to travel to the center and ground pound the dome that Bowser Jr. resides in.
During the second hit attempt, Junior grows smart and tries to suck in your clouds occasionally, and will also deploy the sporadic electric shielding. Once you hit him a second time, he then reveals treads and gets taller in the process. You heard me right, the tower is now mobile.
This is where the fight starts getting really tough. As soon as you regain control of Mario after the cutscene, quickly hurry to the left or right so that the tower won't push you off the edge. I learned that the hard way. He's also so tall now that the layer of clouds you used previously isn't high enough. You have to climb even higher. Because he moves though, you have to anticipate where he will be going so you don't run out of clouds.
As for the music, it's the same as his final battle from the first game. It still is epic sounding and fits the boss really well. The boss also tests your cloud skills really well.
This boss is the perfect example of how to make use of every aspect of a fight. If you have a large boss, give it a large arena so you have more freedom to move. Make a reachable weak spot, but make it a challenge to get there. And add more difficulty as the fight goes on so that the player has to change attack tactics for each part.
Overall, the boss is fun and a really fair challenge. It also has a daredevil run, but at that point you should be used to them. All in all, we find that this is the best boss within the Galaxy series. I'm First of Doom.
And I'm FanaticMarioMan. Thanks so much for watching. Did you agree with our list? If not, feel free to express your opinion in the comments. Just please don't be pushy about it.
No one likes trolls or flamers. Also, this was my debut on YouTube. I hope I entertain you guys in the future. Thank you and goodbye.